As fish stocks are overlapping national borders, the European Union offers to all economic operators a common framework to share the exploitation of the resources. For conservation measures to be effective, all participants, not just some, must be involved. Cooperation, as well as a culture of compliance, needs to be in place so that the rules are properly respected. The decision-making process is well defined. Scientists gathered in the ICES are giving their advice on the health of stocks, which is taken into account by the European Commission to fix the maximum number of allowed catches, the so-called tax, and quotas determining every year how much fish can be caught. The ministers of the different EU countries meet once a year to assess this proposal and take the final decision.
As Commissioner for Maritime Affairs and Fisheries, my aim is to bring back fish stocks to sustainable levels and ensure a future for the fisheries sector in Europe. For this to happen, our policy decisions must be based on science to promote long-term sustainability rather than short-term interests. To this end, we have all cooperated, the Commission, the national authorities and our control agency. The message has to be clear. We need effective control to ensure the common future of fish and fishermen, and we'll have it.
In the past, EU rules were not respected as they should. This led to the reform of the Common Fisheries Policy in 2002. The CFCA was created for the purpose of enhancing cooperation between national authorities in order to ensure consistent enforcement across the borders.
The Community Fisheries Control Agency has as a task to assist the Commission and the Member State in delivering compliance with the Common Fisheries Policy. And that is what we do. We try to broker cooperation between the Member States and the enforcement authorities of Member States, and to make sure that these Member States do things together.
The Joint Deployment Plans, JDPs, adopted by the CFCA are one of the agency's main ways of ensuring uniform and effective application of the rules of the Common Fisheries Policy by Member States. Joint Deployment Plans are the vehicle through which the CFCA organizes joint deployment of the human and material resources pooled by Member States. JDPs create European added value by ensuring effective enforcement and equal treatment for all those involved in the relevant fishery when compared with standalone member state operations.
We try to work with the member states to be engaged in joint control operation. Our main tool to work together with the member states is the so-called joint deployment plans, or GDPs, in which member states put together all their control means, and we prepare the planning and the areas in which member state has to deploy their risk control and inspection means to proper control the different fisheries. Now, in the agency, we are coordinating 4 main fisheries. It's the cod in the North Sea, cod in the Baltic Sea, NAFO and NEAFC areas, and the bluefin tuna fishery in the Mediterranean and the Atlantic. All the GDPs normally consist in the establishment of times and places where member states has to deploy their control means. We also plan the exchange of inspectors. We have different means at sea, boats, also helicopters, planes, and they are managed by a different team of inspectors from different nationalities.
In the framework of the bluefin tuna JDP, for example, there is a multinational team composed of CFCA coordinators and national experts working during the whole control campaign at the CFCA headquarters. This team coordinates on a daily basis the control strategy to be followed by the inspection means pooled by member states concerned. They receive data from the member states, satellite images, VMS and info on catches, analyze on a real-time basis all available information on the fishery and make recommendations for inspection and surveillance to the national inspection means deployed at sea, on land, etc. Furthermore, the CFCA chartered on behalf of the member states concerned an EU inspection vessel, the Jean Charcot. This vessel served as an international platform for inspection and surveillance of fishing activities by EU vessels and third country vessels from contracting parties of the ICAT and the NAFO regulatory area.
This year there were working inspectors from many member states together, first in the NAFO, dus in the cold of Greenland with the icebergs, and later on they were working in the Mediterranean under the sun and the hot like you feel today.
The CFCA has finished with the disparity on inspection methodologies and the fragmentation of control into jurisdictional waters. JDPs have contributed to the generalization of best practices and increased transparency in control operations by promoting the exchange of inspectors from different member states on sea and land. It is now possible for a Belgian vessel fishing in UK waters to be inspected by a French fishing patrol vessel with a Belgian inspector on board. All of these efforts, coordinated by the CFCA, contribute for a level playing field for the European fishing industry and to a more cost-effective deployment of member state resources.